The $2 XRP Flash crash. It came, it went. You had less than 60 seconds to take advantage of it, and now we're moving back up. In this update, we're going to take a look here once again at the technicals, the charts, and what just took place with Brad Garlinghouse laying the smackdown on the SEC shill, John Reed Stark. Folks, if you appreciate what we're doing here, make sure you guys have subscribed and hit that notification bell, liking the videos, sharing them out. It really does help us, and I greatly appreciate you for doing so. Now let's get right on into it. Taking a look here, we had over $800 million liquidated. Some estimates are actually putting it over $1 billion in liquidation, marking one of the biggest liquidations in a 1-hour event in crypto's history. So this was the entire market, not just XRP, but XRP going back down to a level that we were watching out for. If you watched my update earlier this morning, where I gave my full reaction to the 60 Minutes interview with Brad Garlinghouse, if you guys missed it, make sure you check that one out. But in that update, I actually shared this technical analysis from our good friend Cassie Trades. Take a look. This is what she had updated us on this morning, watching for two levels, the 236 retrace to $2.31, and we definitely blew right through that one to the 382, which is $1.94. Those are the fib levels that we were watching out, and sure enough, we did it. Now here's the chart. What you see, she was warning about this correction and the potential for us to go down here to $1.94. Well, guess what? That's exactly what we did. Now, you might be asking, why am I zoomed in on the 1-minute chart? To give you guys the real perspective on how quickly this opportunity came and went. Here's XRP all the way up here at $2.26, $2.27. And over the span of 3 minutes, we drop all the way down to below $2. But if you look on this candle wick, this 1-minute wick right here, we go right on down to $2. And then in that next candle, we wick down below. So I don't know the exact time. Did you have 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 45 seconds? I mean, you had less than 1 minute to take advantage of this opportunity. And sure enough, it goes all the way down here. I'm pulling about 193.8, basically 194, exactly to that fib level that Cassie Trades had showed us on her chart. Back to said chart, we see that now we have completed an ABC correction, and now we're ready to blast off. So we didn't know whether it was going to be A, B, C, D, E, or if it was going to be the ABC. Well, it looks like we can now confirm we got the ABC. Now what happens? Well, now the number goes up, and that's exactly what we saw happen. Now, briefly here, Tether has surpassed XRP to reclaim that 3 spot, but that's because everybody flooded into Tether when that crash occurred. So Tether briefly spiked up here to basically over a market cap of 138.3 billion. Now it's down back here to 138.1, so losing about 200 million in market cap just within the past little bit here. And so you can see that XRP did get briefly passed up, but it did not last long. I'm going to zoom back out here to my 4-hour chart on XRP, and what you see is that XRP still has incredible structure and that we're already back up here at $2.21. It actually already bounced up. If I just go in here on my 1-hour chart, you can see we actually did a full bounce all the way up to $2.30. So we're going to chill out here, find some support, 220, 230, right in there. I mean, I mentioned earlier this morning that that was a big support level. We'd already found support there last week when we back tested to 215, back tested 216, back tested 220, back tested 225, and that was the final one before we went back up to what was about 260 this weekend. And then here we go. We get the correction that came in. Massive liquidation event. Way too much leverage in this space. And the leverage is what is causing these huge swings. Now, for us that have been in this space for a while, this is nothing, right? This is absolutely nothing. In fact, if I measure this move from the high, we were just at 264 yesterday on Sunday. That's a 26% crash down, right? So pretty substantial move. We are down, that full move is about 33% from the highs that we just hit. From yesterday, literally within a day, we're talking about a 26% crash. Pretty substantial. But there it was. In literally less than 1 minute, you had an opportunity to take advantage of. Now, hopefully you were setting your limit orders. As I've always, explained to you guys, limit orders for buying and selling our positions. You get those limit orders placed so that you can set it and forget it. And then hopefully your exchange is going to execute the order. And I'm already seeing some reports of some of these exchanges not fulfilling the orders that folks had placed or were trying to put through when we went down to $2. So this is why I give myself a few different options. I have them linked up down below, and you get it set up. You hope and you pray that your orders go through, but sometimes they don't. I mean, this is 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and then we're gone. And we have to ask ourselves, I mean, was that the last time that you had $2 XRP? Was this the last time that we will ever see XRP below $2 once again? We just cleaned out all the leverage in the whole space. So we got kind of a clean slate on the leverage almost entirely. I mean, not completely, of course. But for the most part, we just liquidated all the leverage. And so now we can build up a position here. And now what you're seeing on Bitcoin, I think, is kind of a precursor to what we're going to see here on XRP with the lack of these cryptos on exchanges. Bitcoin balances on exchanges have dropped to their lowest point ever. So although I am not invested in Bitcoin, I don't hold Bitcoin, I'm rooting for Bitcoin. I'd love to see Bitcoin go do these crazy numbers. That'd be great for our space. But one thing I will do is recognize when it still does have, some bullish factors working for it. One of them is the lack of supply that is available on exchanges, which of course can change in the blink of an eye. If we just see Bitcoin run back up over 100,000, you're going to see more people loading back up the exchanges. And you guys know, I mean, if you know what you're doing, you can load up on the exchanges from your cold wallet to the exchange in a couple minutes, maybe longer if you're dealing with Bitcoin. But, with our other assets, you can be on the exchange in 30 seconds. So although the reserves are low on these exchanges, this is room for Bitcoin to run higher. It's just not an opportunity that I'm investing in, but it's bullish nonetheless. Now, what I'm really bullish on here is this XRP story and the smackdown that Brad Garlinghouse just laid on John Reed Stark. So Brad Garlinghouse responded yesterday talking about the debut, noting the fact that basically they missed out the part where Judge Torres ruled that XRP is not a security. And then, they conveniently left out the part where we get to explain how XRP has real utility. They didn't give Ripple or Brad any opportunity to share that part. And in fact, I think that they did because Brad said that the interview was actually 90 minutes of recording, but they only aired about 5 minutes of airtime. Now, John Reed Stark had came in here basically earlier or last night, and he responded. This is the only tweet that he's put out in the past 24 hours. John Reed Stark, he basically went into hiding after the 60 Minutes interview dropped. But he did take a chance here to respond. I'm not going to read his entire post, but he basically goes on to say that he's not, he's not a Gary Gensler shill. So I think that's what Brad called him, right? Right? Or was that in the next, he called him Gensler or something like that. But anyways, I'm going to read Brad's response here. He says, John, while you may not know Gensler, you sounded an awful lot like him with statements that are bold-faced misrepresentations, a polite way of saying lies. They certainly sounded like Gensler talking points, quote, no licensures, no utility. All judges have said that tokens are securities. Crypto makes it far easier to do all crime, etc. These are all provably false, and 60 Minutes could have easily fact-checked before including them. And that's a failure on behalf of 60 Minutes, but it's no surprise because we understand why mainstream media is dying off. But the actual scourge of society is not crypto. It's failing to see when the SEC created to protect investors does the exact opposite under the guise of public service. But credit where credit's due, you've called for the SEC to withdraw its appeal in the Ripple case. On that, we agree. So Brad Garlinghouse, giving John Reed Stark kind of the benefit of the doubt, but laying it out here, we can't forget the facts here that we have on our side. XRP is not a security. We can prove that we have real utility. As far as activities going on, of course, there's some bad actors in crypto. By and large, most of that activity is actually facilitated with US dollars and cash. And so Ripple, and on the point of licenses, well, Ripple's still waiting for the New York Department of Financial Services to approve the RLUSD stablecoin license. And 60 Minutes didn't give an opportunity for Ripple to share how they're introducing this stablecoin to help the United States expand US dollar dominance. You know, no opportunity for that. We get a couple sound bites out of Brad, give him a chance to explain why the SEC sued them, but we just leave out the fact that we got the ruling from the judge that XRP's not a security. But nonetheless, we didn't expect anything else really, from 60 Minutes, from Margaret Brennan, the lady who interviewed Brad Garlinghouse, CBS, 60 Minutes. This is what we expected, right? The price action too, perfectly timed. They dumped the whole market last night when the interview aired. And then once again here this morning, kind of finishing out the liquidation event and completely wiping out everybody. But we needed to do this. We needed to clean things up. Now we get to move on up. And the facts are on our side. So anybody who was closed-minded on crypto and had no interest in crypto before the 60 Minutes interview, their mind was not changed. For people that are on the fence or open-minded, willing to learn, or at least curious about crypto, they're going to be looking at Ripple, Brad, and XRP like, wow, up 300%, went to the number 3 crypto. I like what this guy's saying. He's talking about educating voters. That's what their funding was all about. Sounds pretty dang good to me. A company based out of America, we want to be leaders in crypto. Sounds pretty good to me. It shined an incredible light on Ripple, Brad, and XRP. As far as everything else that they did, I mean, there's nothing to make Ripple, Brad, and XRP look bad on. As I mentioned in my update earlier, the only thing that they had was the lack of XRP price action, but that's no longer the case. Now, I did want to share this. Ripple responding to Brad Garlinghouse, and they're saying lock in. And this is the picture of Brad during the 60 Minutes interview in the spaceship. And this is the situation as I've been describing it, right? We got Brad Garlinghouse. Right next to him is David Schwartz in the cockpit of our rocket ship. And there's a dashboard full of switches still yet to be flipped. And they're all very bullish ones. And so today's liquidation event is laughable to us. I mean, you want a good laugh, go look at your net worth, how much it might have fluctuated in that move here today from $2.40 XRP when we woke up this morning to $1.94. How much did you lose? And then how much have we already made back up as XRP is getting accumulated? I think that it's actually getting drained from the exchanges. There's no supply that's coming from Ripple to exchanges anymore. It's only going to institutional partners, which is why I still believe in the supply shock scenario for XRP on top of the dashboard of switches that are still yet to be flipped here from a technical basis on the XRP ledger and the amendments that we have in the pipeline. And then from an institutional perspective, from laws and regulations getting passed, and from this case finally being concluded. And to that point, John Reed Stark, the fact that John Reed Stark is saying that the case should be dropped tells you everything you need to know. I mean, if the SEC shill himself is saying that the SEC needs to give up on the appeal, guys, this case is over. It's done. I'm still standing by my prediction that this case will not go to appeal, that this will be settled up, it will be done. And so it's all bullish. It's all clear. XRP having clarity that nobody else has. XRP leading the charts this bull run in this new reality over the past month. It's a beautiful sight to see. For the new people here, strap in, enjoy the ride, take advantage of the dips because this thing is moving quick. Everything is at ZachRector.com. I also have quick links down below. Be ready. The merch is going to be going live in the next 24 hours. I know you guys have been waiting for this. It's coming soon. ZachRector.com. God bless you all. Thank you. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.